I was here in New York when it happened. Of course, I will never forget it. I had just had breakfast with a friend. I went up to my apartment, home office, and played my answering machine, and a friend said, "Did you see what's going on at the Trade Center?" And immediately, of course, turned on the TV, and our lives have never been the same. No question about it. I burst into tears when I saw the building go down. One of the most horrible things. I hope I never see anything like that again. But of course, everyone in New York was trying to think about the meaning of this, and we had a Socrates in the City event. I don't know if you know, I run these events, and we had been running them. We just begun them the year before, and I was ruminating on this question about what is the meaning of 9/11, what has happened, and this idea of grace is at the center of it. And here's what I mean. For the first time in most of our lives, because we've all grown up in America in a kind of bubble where we have not seen much evil, most of us have not, and I think because of that we tend not to really know what goodness is. What's the grace of God and the goodness of God? It's hard to know. If you have everything, if you feel you don't need to be forgiven anything, we know that old story, and it's true. But at 9/11, we saw something that we'd not seen before, which was something as close to evil as we'd ever seen, and consequently goodness, bright, shining goodness. And what I mean by this, of course, we know the evil side. You have people driving planes into buildings and killing people horrifically. But the good side was that you had the first responders, the policemen, and then most notably the firemen, walking into the building, walking upstairs to do their job.
To their death.
Exactly, obviously, to their deaths, and one has to ask, this is the question, why did they do that? You have to try to be intellectually honest and say, what was that? And I think people love to kind of paper this over. They don't want to look at it too carefully, but to say, what would compel a person to do that when he knows he's putting himself in danger? And even if that person doesn't precisely, consciously know what he's doing, that he's walking to his own death, the very idea of it and the image of it, it is a picture of grace. It is self-sacrifice, which is at the very core of the agape love of God. There's nothing in it except self-sacrifice, self-service, giving of oneself in such a bold way that it brings us to tears. That's what it is. And when we think of anyone doing anything like that, because that's what grace is, when we think of a father sacrificing himself for his kids, when we think of Jesus sacrificing himself for us, when you think of these men walking into a building, the only response is gratitude and tears. And to me, that picture is frozen in my mind. I will never forget that, and I hope no one ever forgets that.